Tubazico in the Goat House is back with our updated rookie rankings heading into week 6. We update these top 10. We'll talk about some other guys as well. But every single week, we also have our normal power rankings still to come for week 6. Week 6 picks, score predictions, locks, and much, much more. You see all the content listed in the bottom left. So join us for all that. Follow us on Twitter. Very important. Lot going on there. Links pinned in the comments for that. And our sponsors, code GOAT, GLD Shop, Liquid IV. You guys probably already know all that by now. But to the rookie rankings there, kind of a quick update. Not too many huge changes, but some changes in the top 3. Devin Witherspoon still number 10. He had a monstrous game last week. We didn't see him play this week because the Seahawks had a bye. Tulitu Pelotu also had a bye. He moved down just because another player moved in and up ahead of him, but he's been arguably the best, well, in my opinion, the best pass rush, edge rusher out of the rookies. Brian Branch missed last game. He had to do that injury, but he's been fantastic, mainly manning the slot. So I'm excited to see more of him once he gets healthy here. But yeah, moves down a spot, missed that game, and somebody moved ahead of him as well. So nothing major there. But Jordan Addison is a guy that's been in the rankings, but moved out of the top 10 for a little bit. But back in, had a really good game against the Chiefs. Was getting good separation, found the end zone again 3 times this year. So he's been very productive. Sounds like Jefferson can miss a game or two, so Addison could help himself more. So here's a good opportunity because he hasn't been getting crazy snaps. He's been getting a decent amount of snaps for a rookie, but here's a good opportunity for him now. Sam Laporta leads tight ends in receiving yards, so that's very, very impressive. The Lions' offense looks really good, opening things up for everybody. Really good balance. The run opens up the pass opens up the run, and Laporta is a big part of that. We talked about in the past that he is, I think, a big reason he's part of that. And he works for the Lions is because he can do a bit of everything, as a tight end. Not just play in line, but almost play like a receiver in the slot or outside as well. Can run routes like somewhat similar to receivers. So that's a big part. So he's up 3 spots to number 6. Devon Achane, number 5, another monstrous game. He did have a fumble. Not too worried about it. He had another monstrous game. Kind of a mismatch problem when he's in the backfield. It's you kind of, how do you play that? Because they really stretch him outside. It's really a lot of the time it's, a stretch run. They get him on the outside and then he kind of takes off. So you kind of got to stay wide on defense, but you got to give yourself some space too so the DBs can take proper angles. So he's kind of a problem in that sense. But, he's just such a home run hitting guy and could just, break one at any time. So we saw that in this game. So he's into the top 5 after a few big time games the last few weeks. So he's up 1 spot to number 5, and he is catching the other running back in Bijan Robinson, who is down a spot. He did have a touchdown, a pretty impressive one too. Snagged that one with one hand. I thought he would get a lot, going a lot more in that game against the Texans, but he still did his part. He's mainly down because other guys moving up. CJ Stroud, it's very tough moving CJ Stroud down 2 spots. I'm a huge fan. He's been fantastic. He was all right in this game, and he did set a rookie record or a record for most consecutive throws without an interception to start the career. So it's hard to move him down, but there are 2 other guys that it's kind of been like 1A, B, and C. So they're all battling. I thought Stroud could have played a little bit better for a rookie. He played fine. I'm very impressed with him. I'm very excited about him, for the future. As elite upside in his future. So really excited about that. He could definitely make his way up to number 1. I did think he was off target on some throws, which maybe could have resulted in, some throws a little behind. If we had a nitpick, which we are with these top 3 guys that are very much elite, and you can throw Robinson, Achane, Laporta in that conversation as well, like right behind that conversation. But maybe, if he was a little bit on his game, that the field goals could have turned into touchdowns. So for nitpicking a little bit, Puka Nacua had another monster game. Cooper Kupp, and that's what makes this amazing too. Cooper Kupp comes back, who is a slot guy that can play outside, equally effective both. Nacua kind of seemed like that guy, but a lot of reps for a lot of production from the slot. So Cooper Kupp comes back, and you think, man, it's going to hurt Nacua a little bit. No, Nakua very productive, gets another touchdown on top of the yards, and he gets 100% snaps, so I do love that for him. He's at number 2, strongly considered for number 1. Going into week 6, I like Jalen Carter at number 1. Fletcher Cox is injured, so Carter gets an increase in the snaps. I love seeing that. I really value snaps. People, I think, kind of go like they're wild when, guys have limited snaps and good production. I want to see both. I want to see snaps. I want to see rookies get on the field as much as they can. So Carter's been on the field, obviously, but in a big-time increase in snaps this past week. So I love that. And what does he do with that? He shows out even more. He's been getting pressure, which is the main thing when it comes to the interior defensive linemen. Get pressure, collapse the pocket, make quarterbacks uncomfortable. And that's what he's been doing. But it's even, you take it a step further. Get sacks, get more sacks, and he got 2 in this game, which was a big factor. I mean, the Rams were moving the ball. Like, they were able to air it out against the secondary of the Eagles, who's kind of been struggling a little bit. Their strength is the defensive line, obviously. Everything else is not awful by any means, but the Rams were able to be explosive and make plays down the field. And we know Stafford has that arm. We know, Cooper Kupp was making plays down the field, and Puka Nacua, so somebody had to do something about it. And it wasn't just Carter. Obviously, Reddick had a good game as well, but Carter collapsing that pocket, getting that interior pressure, quickest trip to the quarterback, making Stafford, who's not the most athletic guy, uncomfortable. He stepped into some of this pressure sometimes because how fast the pocket collapsed. It confuses the quarterback. So, just a massive game changer type player in general, but in this game. But then 2 sacks to go along with it. And he's got a very good total on the year as well in terms of production, looking at pressure, sacks, just backfield production in general. So very impressed. The snap increase and doing something with it and just changing the game. I think him changing that game, who knows if Stafford would have completed one more pass, it probably would have taken more than one more, but and hit Puka Nacua on one of those and they would have won the game, then we'd probably be talking about Nacua number 1. But I think Carter, again, being a game wrecker, being a game changer, and being a major factor on why the Eagles defense stepped up and actually held the Rams to 14 when they moved the ball better than that. I think it starts with a guy like Carter. I don't even know if it starts with a guy like Reddick. I think it starts with a guy like Carter. I think collapsing that pocket, again, interior defensive lineman, quickest trip to the quarterback, just throwing Stafford off. And Stafford, again, had some good moments slinging the ball because that's what he does, but he had some questionable moments because he was thrown off a little bit. Again, it starts right here. So I thought Carter was deserving of being 1. And all these, one game could decide this because all these guys are so close. I think right now, for this week at least, who was consideration for number 1? It was 1, 2, and 3. Carter, Nacua, and Stroud. Robinson right behind. Achan's coming for Robinson, that running back battle. And then Laporta, is right behind that, and then I think there's a little bit of a gap after that. I think if Branch wasn't dealing with some injuries, then we'd be talking about him up there as well. But Addison's been pretty good. But Addison going to kind of enter that conversation. I said there's a pretty good gap after the top 6. I think he can not only enter that conversation, but make maybe a little bit more noise than that because he has an opportunity coming up with possibly Justin Jefferson out. And then some guys were on buys. I'm excited about Witherspoon because he had such a monstrous game the last time we saw him. He's kind of just getting going. So excited about that. I forgot to mention some of the just missed guys. Tank Dell, who did exit the game with a concussion, but he was starting to be productive again. They might have won if he didn't get knocked out of the game. So that's tough, and it shows how valuable he is. Will Anderson still want to turn those pressures into sacks, but he's been doing really good. Josh Downs is starting to make more and more noise. I was a big fan of him on North Carolina. Rasheed Rice is doing a little bit more. I want to see an increase in snaps. He seems to be taking advantage. He seems to be taking advantage of the snaps he does get. I want him to get on the field more. Then Darnell Wright's playing very good at right tackle for the Chicago Bears, and they kind of they tweaked some of the play styles, which results in change of the blocking scheme. The Bears this past week, and I thought that was more so what Darnell Wright was doing at Tennessee. So it's more of his background, and he shined even more. So I did like that from him. I like that from him as well. So those are my rookie rankings heading into week 6. And we will update these every week. I try to get them out every, right after that Monday Night Football game heading into Tuesday. And then we go, next video after this will be our actual team power rankings there. So let me know your guys' rankings, your thoughts in the comments. Always talking with you guys on Twitter as well. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Full NFL coverage here at the Goat House. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.